Can't hear you, Shashi. Can't hear you. So you're on mute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Good.
All right. Can you see me now? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Great. Let's get started then. What a wonderful way to spend a Saturday evening. I was thinking today morning. Thanks for both of you and giving your time. All right. So, quickly, my name is Sasidhar. To the audience out there who will listen to it now and later, I'm from Hyderabad in India. Uh, I've been moving from finance to human resources by way of career. I'm also a yoga practitioner. I teach regularly in corporates and individuals. Luckily, my family has a lot of background in philosophy, so that came to me naturally as an offering since childhood. I actually teach students both nationally and internationally. So when I saw that ancient Indian wisdom is one of the topics we'll be discussing today, you have written a book on that. I was very excited. Now, all my background confluenced when I joined the Alpha Stars for the program of PCC because I could clearly see everything coming together. Yoga somatic awareness, for example, just made so much sense to me. I thought, yes, we are one human. Why separate it out? Approach the person holistically. And that's what I want to talk to you both today on the topic of human potential, what it can do, some of the writings in your book, your experiences, etc. Okay.
Yeah.
Before we start, can I venture and risk giving an introduction to you both? I'm afraid to do so, considering
Yes.
the long list of achievements you both carry. But let me take a quick shot at it. So, Shri Guru Prakash Kaur Khalsa and Satpuram Singh Khalsa, sir and ma'am, wonderful to have you here. I've been seeing you for the last year and a half and reading and watching your videos too. I think the breadth of your achievements and the depth of your expertise both compete with each other, whether it is the ICF MCC coach certification, the 4,000 plus hours of individual coaching experience you carry, or the fact that you have honorary PhDs, Marshall Goldsmith stakeholder centered coaching certifications. Well, the list is long. That's why I was saying I'm afraid I'll miss out on something if I introduce you.
Mm.
Okay, great. So, in a nutshell, I'm excited that along with the viewers here, that we are going to take away some nuggets of wisdom coming from you and your extensive experience. Shall we get started?
Yes, please go ahead.
Wonderful, wonderful, great. The words ancient Indian wisdom itself. Let me start with the absolute beginning. Right, I've heard you speaking in other videos around what it is, what it can do, how it can help people, etc. But zooming out and being an absolute curious beginner, okay, curious beginner, how would you describe it to a beginner on why is this important? Either of you can take it up. Yeah.
Okay. So would you like to say why it is
okay.
important? Why ancient
So,
Indian wisdom
to
is
beginner,
important?
I would say that we are telling all the other people to have a beginner's mind. You are a beginner mind by yourself, and that is what it takes to understand things from the true perspective. Like, for example, the influence people, if you look at a glass of water, they know it's a glass, it's water, it's this and that. So we have thousands of interpretation. But if we do not know anything and we look at that, we
Right.
have thousands of questions to ask and inquire and do not interpret it. So that's what the whole wisdom talk about. That how can you actually transcend all that is going on in your mind, all that you know it. So what you need not to know that this is not this. Okay.
Mm. Wow. Okay.
I think what best is, that you have come as a beginner and you have an empty, so make your mind totally empty. Because when it's
Mm.
empty mind, that's a beginner's mind. That's for the ancient Indian wisdom. Because then you're absolutely open to receive what the wise person has to sell or the wise ancient wisdom has to guide you. So that's a
Mm.
sir has very correctly said. A beginner is the right person because the person is curious
So
and empty
Empty
mind.
cup.
Okay, I'm there.
Perfect, perfect. Great, wonderful, wonderful. Let me move on. And I want to make this very contextual, right? Because we live in the world of heavy globalization, and it's not just technology that's evolving, people have been evolving very differently. cultures are mixing with each other,
Mhm.
priorities by generations are different, right? I'm talking about the modern world purely from a people and aspirations context. Okay, now if that is the reality, the question that I have for you really is, if relationships range from anywhere between transactional to transformational on a spectrum, how important is what you're teaching right now is relevant to the world, the relevance of the whole methodology itself in a world like this?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Again,
So,
open to anyone, please. Yeah.
see, when we are talking of, so you want to go ahead?
No, you go.
Okay. So, from transaction to transformational, and as you said, people are evolving, and truly, people are evolving because it is a age which is such. If you
Yes.
see time, long time years back, I'm talking of in India when we had only Maruti car, and not even Maruti was just launched. There was a Fiat. And I
Yeah.
remember, when we had some kind of a sales training, what we did, and we started teaching NLP in bits and pieces. So people would say, "Okay, I need a home, I need a scooty, I need a Fiat or an ambassador," right? And they would be happy with that, right? But slowly it moved. Then Maruti was launched. So I'm talking of India. The Maruti was launched. So then the Maruti came in, and from
Mm.
there till now, if you see the any car you talk about, India has the car, right? And people also think of launching the cars in India. I remember in Hyderabad they had launched one car. I don't remember the name, but it was in Hyderabad they had launched the car. So the transformation has happened both the ways. From if you look at from the materialistic and aspiration perspective, people want to grow, people want to be rich, people want to have things, right? And the other kind of transformation which has also happened in people is just from
Mm.
getting to materialistic. And even I'm seeing the youngsters, when you talk to them, I am doing all this, but what about my happiness factor? Okay, what about, and
Mm.
and also I would say it is also an additional which even the medical science is equally promoting, that if you are not remaining as happy, you're ultimately going to be diseased in your body. So people have understood all that, and with this COVID coming in, people have understood more that how do I actually move from a transactional word to a transformational person, where if I am doing something, it's not only affecting me, it's also going to be affecting others, right?
Others.
So, what
Mm.
we teach in the program and what we have created the model as innermost shift coaching is about connecting to your own inner true self.
Mm.
And once
Mm.
you do that, and that could be done through various ways. When we talk about the very simplistic way of doing is connecting to your breath, right? As simple as if you talk about the techniques part of it, right? Okay. So the whole era, it's just in the consciousness. So if I just go back once again, people did not talk about, wisdom, people did not talk about knowledge, they were more of transactional. But slowly, slowly, the whole consciousness shifted, and we even see a lot of enlightened teachers, enlightened gurus who also came in and who started talking about that you have to realize yourself, you have to realize your own potential, right? Right. So
Mm.
that's how
Mm.
even you talk about even Anthony Robbins, Dr. Richard Bandler, always, of course, even when we learned NLP and we teach NLP, it talks about that we are all connected. It talks about mind and body is a part of same system. It talks about people have resources within themselves. It says that people have behaviors and not the intentions. So if you live by all that, that's a whole transformational process. But
Mm.
because of by 2012, when the whole era changed to an Aquarian age, people started having the knowledge. The experience is still missing with some of us. So the
Right.
whole ancient wisdom
Well
and
put.
the whole
Mm.
model which got developed is more about you experiencing your own true self. And how
Mm.
can you do that? When you get in touch with your own true self, you understand all your layers of experience, you understand all your transactions, yet there's something more deeper within yourself which you have to delve. And that's what the whole model is about, touching your that basic point of purity from where everything originates, right?
Wow.
And if you can do that, I think it's a beautiful connection to your own self first than anybody else. So you can add
Truly
something to it.
innermost.
Yes, truly
Wonderful.
enough.
Yes, yes. Sure. Sir, anything else for you to add, please?
So you're on
Uh,
mute.
you're on mute, I believe, sir.
So you're on mute.
Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
more to everything that can be done. And
Mm.
with the rising complexities and advancement, more of dissatisfaction. is there. So in that era, in such an era, the only solace is how can we be at peace, at calm within ourselves, and from that space we can address the immediately arising problems, urgencies, emergencies, surgencies, and
Mm,
we need to be more allowing these things to show up from within with
mm,
the complexity demands. Almost you can't plan things, and planning is good, but all planning almost fails. Okay, and
true, true,
that's
very
where
true.
the
Mm,
swiftness. So there was a time when I would say people who are more you can say stronger, they can sustain. As people used to say, the fittest survives, but
Mhm.
now is the swiftest. Who can be more swift? Okay, and who can create more shift? So the shift, swift, fit, all the three
wow.
that comes from the ancient wisdom. Okay,
Yeah, it's so intuitive, actually. Well said. Yeah, in fact, you're right. Charles Darwin, what started off as survival of the fittest became survival of the one who adapts the most. So, coaching actually helps you adapt because you discover your strength. So, very well, very beautifully said. Okay, the next question I have on my mind, and again, open to both of you before I get to specific questions, is in the digital age that we are in currently, right? We are very distracted. The topics such as mindfulness, etc., are really picking up to the fore because people are realizing the value of it, right? Focus and the attention span has come down to seconds now per individual. In a world that is very distracted and unfocused, what does the entire model has to offer to the world?
the people are unfocused.
Hmm.
Okay, this
Yes.
is see the all the restlessness, all the disturbances. If we can witness to, so
Mm.
there are different layers and from different set of you can say levels we respond to. So we respond to just what we behave like, but we also respond from what we are capable, and we
Hmm.
also respond from what we believe in, and
Right.
then above that is what is really valuable rather than what we simply believe in. And
Hmm.
beyond that is that how do I identify who I am being in that situation? So, and that's where the question is who I am being now, but who do I want to emerge as? Who do I want to show up as? Who do I want to uh, prove to myself or would be known as when this situation maybe a minute after or maybe a year after when this situation is gone. So who would I emerge and evolve as? And being
Right.
that, what are the opportunities? So these are the kind of ongoing question in the mind. Can be a techie or be anyone. They are trying
Mm.
to solve a simple coding problem or trying to fix an error and they
Mm.
want to become focused. The moment they go beyond their beliefs and then get in touch with themselves that who do I want to be evolving and emerge, or who would I be emerging when
Right.
I have just got over it. So that will bring them their focus. So the focus is not that I have to, kind of eye on few things. Focus is a state of
Mm.
mind. And when we connect with a deeper purpose and who we are and who we would love to emerge, then naturally we become focused. Because then we start valuing what we had before, finding a meaning in that. So a focus arising from, I will get raised or I will be ahead of competition, I will prove it. This creates turmoil in the mind because it is the outside oriented focus I'm trying to drive at because I'm trying to
Mm.
race, compete. beat
Correct.
and
Mm.
cheat in that process. Okay, and there's a lot of heat building up. That focus, you know,
You're all using
is
rhyming words today.
but then
Mm,
a focus being inside expensive,
Expensive.
and that is me, myself, and my word for my own good and to feel
Mm.
better. And we always say, how can you feel good for no damn reason? So
Mm.
when you become unreasonably good to feel good, that's where the focus becomes better. And that happens when a sense of relation, so it's called swasthya, that you become still in yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aha.
So that
Okay.
state
Okay.
of
Got it.
being. Okay.
Okay. Oh, wonderful.
So
So I'll
personal
just
and integrity.
yeah, I'll just quickly add to this since you asked that how do we do it in our model. When
Right.
people, it's not that you have lost focus in many things of life. It's not like that. If today somebody has to, go for a holiday, I've really talked to so many people in my life. When the holiday is planned, there's so much of focus and they do not lose the focus on going for a holiday. Everything is put aside. If you are on a
Correct. Correct.
project that is if you are on a project that is going to lead you to the next level in any organization, believe it, I've seen people doing with tremendous focus. They forget night, they forget day, they are just on it. So when we talk in our model, we understand that we have focus in the areas that we want to have, but if somewhere we do not want to have it, we'll not have our focus. Okay,
Mm.
so it's
Mm.
a what's our it's a right mental emotional state. And
Right.
human beings are very very intelligent to use your own resourceful states, provided we know how to do it. So in our
Mm.
inner shift coaching, we really talk about how to understand your resourcefulness and use it at the other places, which we call as model of your own success, modeling your own success at many places, which is a very powerful way of doing it. But yes, there are many distractions because of
Mm.
what you picked up. There's a lot of knowledge which is coming to you. Even the
Mm. Mm.
YouTube, yeah, longer YouTube, because you're not see, it's not something which you want to see every time. Even if
Right.
everybody is sometimes sending me the messages, which could be a good message, but I don't need it really. It's not any purposeful to me. So people just kind of
Correct.
skip it over. But something which is useful to you, you can listen to that, see to that many more number of times. So it's, I think, about your purpose. It's also about your intent. It's about how important that thing is for you. So we can actually do
Mm.
that. We can create that own model of excellence for ourselves, by doing it.
Wonderful. Wonderful. It all boils down to inner hurdles, mental barriers, and we overcoming. That's what I'm seeing, right? More
Mhm.
focus within than the outside. Focus. Super. So let me shift gears. I'm going to come to the book. Very interested. I had the opportunity to read a section of the book.
Mhm.
Okay. Best truly. Okay. And I have this fundamental question. I've heard you speak in the previous interviews, both of you, where you said the book is not suddenly something that came about, but it's evolving over the years.
Mhm.
And that's the
Right.
question I have for both of you. Maybe in one line each, if you could share, by the time you are ready with the book, what is the one thing that it has changed you as a person?
I think first is about the whole awareness, because and I think that is what we have learned over so many years.
Mm.
Um, when we started the book, it's not just about when the book is ready. It's about over a period of time when the whole model was getting developed and we were going through it ourselves, even while we were teaching and we were coaching people. It actually related. It actually helped us to also understand and bring our own awareness internally as well. What happens to you? So we are not all, at least I would say for myself, I'm not a perfect human being. So there are ups and downs at various levels when you're going through your life. But one thing what I have learned is that not holding on to things for a very longer time, right? And becoming aware of your body, of your breathing, of your whole energy, and not like just getting it washed away with the things which you do not want. It might affect you for a few seconds. So earlier, if the things were there, of course, I'm talking personally about myself. I still did not carry for many many longer time, but still it would go on for maybe half an hour, 1 hour. But now it is there, but it is maybe for a few seconds. I understand that
Mm.
how it's going
Mm.
to affect my body, and I just
Right.
immediately come out of it myself, as you talked about how it's affected me personally while going through the whole
Mm.
thing.
Mm.
So the awareness
Mm.
definitely has increased about it. That's what the whole best tool is about, increasing your own awareness and sensations in your
Self-awareness.
body, that what is happening to you. Absolutely.
Wonderful. The one thing that's missing today, self-awareness, right? Okay, super. Sir, over to you.
Sir, you're on mute. Sir, you're on mute.
The change thing is very irrelevant to what book is actually. It's more about Sahaj pake so meetha hoye. Like that takes
Uh,
longer to evolve is very sweet. So hurrying up doesn't
mm,
matter, worrying up doesn't
mm,
matter, staying with things just solve things. Okay. So
mm,
struggle
right.
is is very painful, but become friendly with things, no matter what the situation is. It does good.
Interesting.
So be friendly to
Got it.
whatever happens.
Got it. That's exactly the reverse we are seeing today nowadays, right? Quick results, fast food, fast careers, fast money. So things take it time to evolve into a sweet output, as you said. So beautiful. Wonderful. I'm going to quote a particular line from the book now, and I really wanted to ask you what it means. Okay, I couldn't, maybe the enormity of the meaning didn't really strike me in the first instance. Here is the quotation. Um, Despite all efforts to live life with unrelenting engagement, we often end up living life aloof, hollow, and feelings of loneliness. This can be explained by using one simple word: state. State. Okay, I'm curious to understand what actually you intended to convey by this state. Yeah.
Sir, you go ahead.
Okay. See, state is in fact the entire sum up of your mental, emotional, spiritual, neurological, physiological, all put together is your
Mm,
state. So that state is in fact a state of consciousness.
mm,
So if our consciousness is driving the state and state of consciousness is right, then
mm,
everything can be handled, no matter what this is. And how easily we can access it, how easily we can attain it, sustain it, and
mm,
then repeat it is what if I if that's right one for me, then I can solve anything. So every situation requires a different state of consciousness, a different state of being,
mm,
and our ability to
mm,
quickly access it determines that how quickly I can respond appropriately. So appropriateness to deal with the situation arises from an appropriate state of being.
mm,
And
mm,
mostly people fail in attaining the right state of mind or right state of being in that situation. Okay, so they lose themselves. And that requires one to become steadfast in yoga, in unison with something very stable deep inside. And that's called yoga. So that yoga somatic state of being, okay, is what is needed from every part of being. When you hold
mm,
on to a right state of consciousness, everything can be handled. That's what it means.
mm,
I think
mhm,
I'll just add one word to this. Coming from the ancient Indian wisdom, the wisdom and the gurus and the rishis, they taught that how a human being actually has all the capacity to manage their mental emotional states. But unfortunately, we are not taught that. So the states manage us. If you're in good mood, we do good. If you're not in a good mood, we don't do. We don't behave good even to our children. I've seen even parents, a small kid, they're irritated. They will behave irritated to a small 5, 6 year old child who does not know anything about it, and they learn the same. So that
mm,
teaching, which was there earlier, somehow is missed in our schools and even our colleges because I haven't learned that anywhere. And it's
mm,
difficult for us to now imbibe it because we're not trained on it. So, if somehow what Sir said, if we learn to be steadfast, and if something happens, it's only your reaction, it's only you feel inside, right? And you react or you respond. If somebody has learned, okay, I will not speak, they're maintaining a state, but internal states, you have to understand it. So, it's external and internal both. So if we learn to remain steadfast, what sir is talking about, and then behave in the outward world or to ourselves, probably we will be in a better management of our mental emotional states. Right now we have to manage them because we are not there inside centered somewhere, right? So it has to be worked around, because it has to be worked the other way around, because we have not learned the other way of maintaining that. So if I'm calm today, and if I'm satisfied, if I'm already, I have everything around me and I'm behaving with that calmness, even if somebody says something, I might still, say something, but it is not going to come from that irritated or
Correct.
frustrated state.
Doesn't
It'll come
ruffle
from
us.
that,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, it's coming from that state, right? So I
Wow,
think Indian
wonderful,
ancient wisdom
wonderful.
is really beautiful
Yeah.
that way.
There is this word I'm sure you both know from Bhagavad Gita called titiksha, right? Some sort of forbearance where nothing external really deeply emotionally hurts you. You have a response, you generate choices, and you choose the one that is contextual, right? Somehow it reminded me of that, and a good segue into my next question as well. Um, Many successful people across the world have always said life is all about making choices intelligently, right? At any point in time, even Viktor Frankl said in his book, right, Man's Search for Meaning, that we have a choice on how we react, right? And I want to dwell on that topic with you, the best model and the overall the book itself, right? Is there a focus, or do you touch upon this topic, that how do we allow our emotions not to overpower us and become knee-jerk reaction kind of people, but you pause, look back, and still generate choices more intelligently, intentionally, right? Is that something you have addressed in the book, and any quick nuggets that either of you would like to share on this topic?
Sir, you're on mute.
The book touches everything like that. You have all the levers in your hand. So
Yes.
the best model is all the levers in the body, and what can you control? Your breath, your body posture, body shape. In the
Okay.
E means what can you control in your emotions,
Mm,
expression, the way energy moves.
mm,
The
mm,
S is about the way you are seeing, say, hearing, feeling in every sense.
mm,
T is about what your thoughts are and thinking is. So they're all tiny levers in your hand, several levers. So think about the best means the whole set of levers that you can leverage, you can take a leverage of to manage a state and make choices. So
yeah.
in any situation, you can use any of the lever which is more handy for you, which is
Mm,
more close to your nature. So
right.
best is about to get to the best of the state and the best
Mm,
of the consciousness that you need in a
mm,
situation to make the best of choices. So it gives a practical levers in hand rather than a theoretical advice or a philosophy. So in a way, we have changed the wisdom into a wise structure so that in any person can uh, actually use, and they're aware of all these levers,
right,
okay, and
right.
manage them
Conscious
to
deliver.
generate
Okay.
more choices.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, it's that conscious implementation that makes the difference. Ma'am, you were saying something?
Right.
No, it's okay. I think he said it. We can go to the
Okay,
next one. Yeah.
great, great. Um, I'll break the seriousness with one or two questions now, if you're okay with that.
Yeah,
I
sure,
wanted
go
to
ahead.
ask, I want to ask one thing. All along the journey of several years, 30 plus years of training, coaching, doing many things together, uh, you all would have evolved. You both would have evolved in your own style of being a coach, your style of being an NLP practitioner, etc. So, may I ask, if you were to look at Sir neutrally, ma'am, this is for you, and Sir, same question for you too. What is the one thing that you find in him as his solid strength, which is like very unique to him? I just wanted to understand that from you
Okay,
today.
you're asking about sir.
Yeah,
His resilience,
resilient.
his resilience in helping us to grow forward, and a
Mm,
never ending, never dying spirit, that how should we grow, how should especially I grow to the next level. It has been his endeavor wherever I am today. With folded hands, all the credit goes to him, because even
oh,
if
very
I'm,
nice. Very nice.
even if I am out of my place, if I'm out of mental state, what I was when I began and what I'm today, there is a 360-degree shift, and all the credit goes to him, because all my learnings have come from him. Though we have several teachers If I don't understand anything, my door is him. I knock on his door. I said, okay, I don't understand. Please tell, what does this mean? I do not understand it. And many times, if I said, okay, I'm not going to do this, he says, no, okay, you wait, you have to do it. And he will make sure that I does it. So all
Wow.
my life, what I have evolved as a good human being, as a people's person, as understanding people, all the credit goes to him. It's been his total resilience and patience with me all these years.
That's very touching. Sir, over to you now.
See, there is only one thing people need in this world to progress and to prosper: action. Siri is totally action oriented. Okay, do not
Okay.
delay and just go get to. So turning the thoughts idea into action is the ultimate thing, and she is ultimate in that. So I think that's worth modeling and worth doing it. And so with persistently acting and allowing, enabling people to act, and when they
Right.
don't, then make them act. So she knows all the things.
All right. Get to action, drive to results. Wonderful. Very nice. Very nice. All right. Last one or two questions. And this question has been on my mind, particularly as a wannabe coach, right? Because on one side, I keep reading a lot about philosophy, etc. Some of those stalwarts of our ancient history, right? Whether avatars, whether gurus, whether characters, etc. And then I try to see how much of it can we bring it into the modern world. I am stuck at a particular question of the word detachment. Okay, people acted with a sense of results are important, but I am still a witness to the action. That is something so starkly missing that people are terribly upset. Whether you are a campus head all the way till a professor or a CEO of an organization, etc. So detachment in our work life. Your perspective on, is it possible? Is it realistic? If yes, how? Quick nuggets.
See,
So,
detachment is not an option;
Mm.
it's a compulsion. So
Okay. Okay.
uh,
now, either way, nothing is in your hand. Either ways. So you might take 20 years to understand that, or you might understand it right now. This is also, though a choice given to you, but helplessness can make a person never to understand it. But eventually, you can only act. That's all.
Mm.
There's nothing beyond this you can do, and you can keep modifying your action, and people keep doing that. But if this is understood as a wisdom that ancient seers, yogis, and rishis gave to us, they
Mm.
gave this nugget. So I don't know how many years people will take to prove it to themselves. So there is there's no science. They go by Newtonian law. Yeah, that I will do an exact. But actually, sooner we forget, that's best way to get detachment is no option. It is the reality
Compulsion.
of life that
What
to
a
move
strong
ahead in
wording to
life.
that word.
see, just to add to it, detachment, when we're talking of detachment, we are not saying that you don't have to act. When
Yes.
people talk of detachment, they always feel, okay, let it go. I will not do anything about it. That is not
Mm.
detachment. When we're
Correct.
talking of detachment, it is you are doing your actions to your best capacity at a given point of time. Whether you are
Yeah.
CEO, you're a mother, you're a father, you are a salesperson, whoever it is, if you are doing your actions to your best, which is a satisfaction to your level, then whatever results come as such, that it's not in your hand. And absolutely true in every context. You talk of any
Yeah. Yeah.
context. I've seen parents doing parenting and telling the child to be like that. They have not, nobody has ever proved to be what the parents wanted to be, ever. Because we never proved like that to our parents, that we are the same what they expected us to be. So
Mm.
actually, sir is very correct in saying how much time we need to really imbibe it, but it does not mean that you will not do your action. Your action should be 1000% done the way you want to do it. Rest and whatever comes, and whatever comes, you take it. And then, as we say that, in one of the NLP, when we talk about the whole practitioner part of the program, we call it as
Mm.
test, operate, test, exit. So if you're doing
Mm.
something and
Short
you're
model. Yes.
operating and you're getting the result, if you're getting everything what you want, exit. If you don't, then do it again. So if you are detached, you will push yourself, or you will find other avenues to work on it and get the results that you want. And even if it's not coming, then do it again, and then just keep leaving it till the time it's coming to you. And if it is not meant to be, then it will not. Then you're satisfied. I have done my action fully. I've really done whatever best was in my capacity, right?
Mm,
Okay. So I
mm.
think that's what for me it is, that, like I was just listening to one of the persons who talked about the Gita, and it's very oftenly said that
Yes,
don't get attached to the result. So he says that no
result.
one means that you are not working towards the result. He says, don't keep working on yourself, keep working on the things that you're working, and then leave
Mm,
it. And then leave it. Don't leave it before that. Don't put your hands
correct.
up that I cannot do it. Right? That's the
Wonderful.
real way of
Absolutely.
detachment, what I feel. If you can do that.
So detach from being associated with outcome, but full focus on action, which is under your control, right? So,
Absolutely.
karmani
Absolutely.
evadikara. Wonderful. Very nice. All right. In conclusion to this wonderful conversation, I wanted to ask, there will be wannabe coaches who are looking at this, watching this video today or later as well. What is the one tip that you'd like to give to them, saying, here is the one thing you should do to be a very powerful coach now and future?
So I think if I have to talk about to be a powerful coach, uh, what comes to my mind is just become a mirror image of the person, because people, when we are coaching people, they come with all sorts of problem to you, right?
Mm,
And so you
mm,
cannot be disassociated, yet you cannot be associated with them. But your whole
super.
presence of being curious, of being with the person as if the person is there. Yes, I'm there, you can talk about it, and let's see how the answers or the question or whatever the solution evolves from you. So one is what we call as present, and just being there with the person, making feel the person that yes, somebody is there to listen to me. Yes, somebody is there who can help me. Somebody is there where I can empty my things, and I can go forward in life. So I think that is one of the biggest things, which I have learned while coaching people. The mere presence really, really makes them so easy and so open that they can really find their own answers from within themselves.
Super. Very nice. Well said. Sir, over to you. You're
Mute,
on.
sir, you are on mute.
Yeah.
See, most coaches think that coaching is only asking about question, and it has nothing to do with what you know, you don't know. But I would say you are not a hollow person. You are full of wisdom. So don't think on, just think of only asking question. Have good concept, ideas, framework, models, and be enriched with that. And
Mm,
then let the wisdom flow through as those nugget questions that
mm,
wisdom brings in. More wisdom flows in also from your coachee as well. So don't act as a hollow coach. You are not a hollow coach. Okay.
correct. Bring your full
Enrich.
personality.
Yeah.
Okay.
Become an enriched coach
Yeah, I think
Wonderful.
to bring
very
enrichment.
beautifully said. Absolutely.
Very
I think
nice.
very beautiful. The energy travels, when you are like that. I think very beautifully said.
Very nice. Wonderful. Wonderful. This has been rather enriching to me personally, and I'm sure for the audience too. Very thankful for both of you for sharing your insights as well as your experiences with us. Okay, and I want to also specially thank the ICF community for providing the International Coaches Week platform. So to everyone out there, stay tuned. More interviews lined up. You have opportunity to learn more from our masters here. Thank you once again for the time
Thank
spent,
you.
both of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.